All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachahakwatash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakathum. And I want to speak on the topic of being a soldier and enduring the harshness to come and the evil days to come. Okay, I'm gonna get some in the Apocrypha as well, but this is about the mindset that Yahawashi was in when he was in the garden, when he knew that he was going to get pressed, and he was, dealing with the disciples, which I'll get in a second. But, the people in our lives, they're going to get squeezed along with us, man. We're going to be tested to see what manner of man that we are, okay? What we're really made out of, okay? And the scriptures also say with much tribulation, we're going to be saved. I'll see if I can find that as well. But to start, this is 2 Timothy chapter 2. Okay, in verse 3. I can start at verse 1, I guess. It says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahawashi Mashiach," which is our cornerstone, by the way. Okay, he's our big brother. Okay, our Lord. Okay, that example is who we follow on how to walk as a soul in the earth. Okay, it says verse 2, "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, okay, who shall be able to teach others also." And this is why we don't hang around with other camps. We're careful who we give our energy around, because this is a giant preparation period, man. We're likening it to the bride. And what is the bride doing? Is she just sitting around eating Cheetos all day, just thinking she got it locked in? No, she's preparing herself, man. Okay, she's smelling right, she's looking good. Okay, because she values the day of the marriage. Okay, and so this is who we associate ourselves with, because we're preparing ourselves. Okay, we don't give into too much mirth. Okay, your flesh, gets exercised, every now and then, but ultimately you have to lock in, because we're supposed to be in a solemn spirit because of what we're getting ready to go through. Okay, and it says, verse 3, the main point: "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi Mashiach." And soldiers are expendable, man. Okay, they use the term dogs for soldiers. Why? Because soldiers already forfeit their life before they even go on the battlefield. When you read that in Deuteronomy, it says, "If there's any man that are fearful in the camp, put him out of the camp." Because you can't have that spirit of fear on you, and we gonna die, You gotta resolve in your mind that death is temporary. Okay, it's a transient experience. We come back. Okay, and your flesh wants to live in this world. Okay, it doesn't want to live from a spiritual, eternal standpoint. It just wants the right now, and so your flesh is gonna fight you. Okay, it's gonna want you to bitch up. Okay, but it says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi Mashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life." You see, and this is why there's a separation even among camps that know that they're Israelites. Okay, we're a body, but at the same time, every cell in that body has to work out its own salvation. It has to, a single cell has its own functions that it has to do. And it's got to be healthy so it can support the rest of the body, man. It says that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier, okay? And it says that in John the 6th chapter that we were the ones chosen, okay? And that's who we seek to please, okay? So you got to get out of that spirit of just this soft spirit. This place will soften you up, man. You watch too much television. You watch too much TikTok. You scrolling on Instagram too much. Okay, you hanging around these people, maybe his co-workers. All right, you eating bullshit, a lot of food. They're changing your biochem. This thing will soften you up, man. And before you know it, you're unprepared. The bridegroom is here, and you looking through. Okay? You can't find your shoes at the last minute, and you're supposed to be in there. All right? You gotta lock in and be in the spirit of preparing yourself, man. Okay? These are evil days that we're getting ready to come into. All right? This is John 6:64. It says, "But there are some of you that believe not." All right? And so what is Yahawashi going into here? He's going into that even though you follow me, you have the word, like the scriptures say, many are called, but few are chosen. Okay, so the ones that were called, there's going to be another separating, sifting period. Okay, because they followed the Lord there. But when they got pressed, let's read. It says, "For Yahawashi knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. And he said, Therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father." Okay? You see that? And that's why you walk with fear, because you pray that the Lord has chosen you, man. Because if he didn't, there ain't nothing you can do. Ain't nothing we can say. There's no examples. You can see miracles right in front of you. If the Lord didn't choose you, you're going to reject the truth, man. Okay? It says, verse 66, "From that time, many of the disciples went back and walked no more with him." So they knew. You see, that was a sift. They weren't real soldiers, okay? And if they got pressed and put in a squeeze with the Romans, they would have been telling, squeezing, screaming, squealing like a pig, you know? Just don't kill me. Just don't kill me. And we have to overcome that fear, okay? You have to be fertile ground for the Lord to operate in, okay? It says, verse 67, "Then said Yahawashi unto the 12, Will ye also go away?" Okay? So he knew the 12 were not going to go away, but he still pressed them anyway, because there's a pressure to this thing, man. Okay? The Lord don't want just anybody. He don't care if you're an Israelite or if you know the name or none of this, man. He's going to try the reins of men, and if you don't have it in you, you're going to get plucked out, man. That should be a horrifying feeling. Okay, this is why we warn you, lock into the spirit and prepare yourself, prepare your mind. Okay? Endure hardness as a good soldier. Okay? Now in 2nd Ezra, it tells us that, okay? Second Ezra 14 and 13. Okay, it says, "Now therefore set thine house in order." What does that mean when you set your house in order? What custom is associated with setting your house in order? It's death, man. Okay? So you already got to be dead to this world. When it says set your house in order, that means you getting ready to leave. Okay? And death doesn't mean you die and it's just blackness forever. But you put your affairs in order. Why? Because you're getting ready to go through something that's permanent. Okay? And by permanent, I mean you ain't gonna be able to go back to the way things were. Okay? It says, "And reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption." This is what the soldiers of Yahawashi were commanded to do, okay? To basically forfeit your life, get your house in order. The scriptures tell you don't even have a wife if you don't have one already, because you are on a mission, okay? And you may die on this mission. But that's got to be okay with you, because you're not supposed to love your life anyway, okay? But y'all get that. And so that's what we're doing. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption, okay? It says, "Let go from the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature." Okay? So that's what it means to endure hardness. And when Yahawashi had to go through, he asked the Lord to let the cup pass from him, man. That's how afflicted he was in the spirit. Okay? But when push came to shove, when the Lord Yahweh squeezed his only begotten son Yahawashi, he had it in him to do it. He said, let your will be done. Okay? It says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Okay? And so you gotta reconcile that in your mind, man. Okay? He tested Abraham. Okay? The same way. That was an egregious thing Abraham had to deal with, giving up his only son, man. But he ultimately, it was what he had faith, and he trusted in the Most High that it was gonna be done. Okay. So you can't bitch up when you see Satan, come down and showing his true colors. Because right now these devils giving you that fake smile. They're making small talk and conversation with you. You go to a bar, they'll even buy you a drink. But there's gonna come a day where the true nature of this guy is gonna come out. And what are you made of, man? You got to constantly examine yourself. This is Hebrews 10. Okay. I'll start at verse 35. It says, cast not away therefore your confidence, okay, which hath great recompense and reward. You got to know, even if I die, the actions that I'm taking, it yields a net benefit to the body, okay? And that's enough, even if my life perishes. As it says in Gladiator, that movie Gladiator, says what we do in life echoes in eternity. What that means is there's a reaction for everything, man. Even the men that died in vain, their works live on, man. Apostle Peter, Stephen, they all of their works, we can read about them and be encouraged and be comforted. Okay? The seven sons and the Maccabees, all right? So you got to have that confidence, man, that not even death is going to stop me. Okay? It says, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise. Okay? So it's about patience, man. Okay? And putting things in perspective about life and death and what does these things mean? Do these hoes mean anything? Does having a nice house really, what does that really mean? Okay? It's nothing compared to what you're promised if you do the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay? And it says, verse 37, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. Okay, that goes into a fear. You're afraid to lose something. Okay, or it's a lack of fear of the Most High, where you want positive, nice things that make you feel good, knowing the Most High, what He's getting ready to do. Okay, and that causes what? A man to draw back. You're likened unto Lot's wife. Okay, who had no business being into a despicable city, man. Cities, Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other three cities. Okay, and there she was looking back. Okay, you have no place here. You're not in the spirit of Yahawashi Yahawashi. Okay, and we are at war. You have to let that sink in, man. We're not just going out every Saturday and reading Bible verses. Okay, brothers get attacked in the spirit. People are watching us. Esau's getting ready to slander, make a great accusation against us. Okay. Verse 39, the main point, it says, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition. What does perdition mean? When you draw back, that's what you're drawing back into, perdition. Lot's wife, she looked back, and her ass got turned into a pillar of salt, man. Apoleia. It goes into that word Apollyon, or Apollo, destruction. Okay. It says destroying or utter destruction, perishing, ruin, destruction. Okay? That's what perdition is, okay? It says, but we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. Okay? So this is the mindset that Yahawashi was in. Okay, and this is the mindset that he had that allowed him to persevere and ultimately get the victory. You know? So meditate on these things, man. You know? Anyway, I'll end it there. I had some more preaching I was thinking about, but maybe I'll get back into it again in another part too. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. On to the next. Shalom.